in a lot of like teams and organizations, it's never like one thing that's like the only mismatch. It's usually like a combination of a couple. And so like taking, for example, like this architecture mismatch, pairing it with like a technology mismatch, like what's the impact there? Like what makes that complicated and like really drag down engineering teams?
The interplay of choices, even when one of them by itself isn't totally dragging you down, is so costly. The clearest example I ever had of this was working at a company that had an innovative kind of database that they were building in-house because they had to be that innovative, and had relatively new at the time programming language, Python. And then because Python was so new, they built a widget set that would meet the demanding user interface demands. And they had demanding user interface demands. It wasn't enough to have a prototype. It had to be amazing. Maybe some of these choices were required by what the company needed to be successful, but they weren't all required. And the interplay of them meant that whenever the new database got revised, then all of the people doing innovative networking had to redo their work, and all the people doing innovative UI had to redo their work. I developed a rule from that startup forward, which was that you get about 3 innovation tokens in a startup. Spend them wisely. 3 innovation tokens means that if you have a new database, a new widget set, and you're trying to come up with a combination of features that hasn't been shipped before, you've used up your 3 innovation tokens. You're done. Don't do anything else new. You can't have new team organization at that point. You'll just like run everybody into the ground dealing with the interplay of these 3 or more things.
When you're considering the innovation tokens, is this at like the larger like entire entity of like the engineering function, or is this like more related to like the teams or like verticals?
No, it's the whole group. You spend an innovation token in just one team doing the database, but even though that seems like it's contained in one team, it's not. It's affecting the company, because then if the company is trying to innovate and build a kind of an app that people need that they don't have already, every time you're exploring the edges of what that app needs to be because it doesn't exist yet, you're paying the cost of the database changing underneath you, and you don't even know it because they're separated by layers of code. So the need to iterate on features and the need to make this database better are fighting each other and slowing each other down, even though they appear to be separated.
And I may have misheard this, but do the tokens renew? Like, is this 3 tokens like at play at once, or do you get to like refill your vault at some point, or is this like 3 and you're done? It's like 3 wishes and then you are out.
That's an excellent question. I would say that you can retire a token. You have to be very considerate that we needed an innovation token to build a database. Maybe there's a justified case where you need to build a new kind of database to do a new kind of logging for your customers. And the innovation token to build that new kind of database is absolutely justified. How fast can you get rid of that innovation? How fast can you make it not an innovation, but a reliable, low-cost maintenance, well-understood tool? And does that involve maturing it into open source that other people use, or is that an extra cost? Does it involve getting to the point where the new thing is part of your training, so everybody who comes on board is trained on it within 2 weeks rather than have to like hit against its rough edges over the first year of their new job? It's a lot more than just, the code's done and dusted. It's how easy is it to work with? Do people know how to work with it? Does it fit well in your other processes? That's when you can retire that innovation token and look around and say, okay, we could take on something new now.